Now, people are wondering, is Drake falling off? Is the run of Drake over? It's like we're watching Superman bleed. Like, this is
Drake.
Is this what y'all wanted from me? Is this what y'all wanted? Y'all wanted me to come and report that the GOAT is falling off. That the numbers not hitting the same. Like the video and subscribe, please.
so. Drake's streak of appearing on the Billboard Hot 100 has ended. For the first time in over 2 years, there are no Drake songs or features charted in the Billboard Hot 100 this week. He's previously charted every week since April 2022. So Drake has charted literally for over 100 weeks, and you know, whether he was on a feature with someone or he had an original song, we do know in that span, I think he put out 2 albums, but he does his feature run and he's always had like a song in that Hot 100, right? Now, people are wondering, is Drake falling off? Is the run of Drake over? I do want to be very honest, and you know, for you K-bots, don't clip me, just get out of here. I ain't really talking to y'all. But I am going to be honest. I do think 2 things is happening. I think Drake is in an interesting period, but I do think the music industry is in an interesting period. I think the reason why Drake doesn't have a song on the Billboard Hot 100 is because Drake hasn't been entertaining or not entertaining. Well, entertaining, but that wasn't the end of the sentence. Drake ain't been fucking with his label like that. Okay? Which is kind of odd because they gave him $400 million, right? Drake has been doing his own thing ever since this whole beef with, and he's always kind of done his own thing. I'm gonna be very fair to him. You know, I've just heard notoriously Drake hits up his label a week or 2 out saying, I'm ready to drop. And if they had other releases, they move those releases back. Unless they tell him, you know, obviously he's with Republic. If they tell him, yo, big dog, Taylor's dropping, of course, and he's rap that, like he would change his shit. But everybody else just moves out the way for Drake. That's how he usually operates with his label. Ever since his beef with Kendrick, he's operated even less with them. Like almost like niggas moving like he's an independent artist. So let me give you a really just honest breakdown what I really think. I think the music industry's fucked a bit. I think Drake is a little bit distant from what he hasn't committed to dropping anything, and he's testing out the waters, but it doesn't look good for him, right? It doesn't look good for him because what we have realized, and you know, whether you want to call this a knock, and this is where the K-bots are like, we're going to clip this. I can't wait till he say we're going to clip it. It's fine. It's like we're watching Superman bleed. Like this is, and I hope you understand the analogy. Like Kendrick and Drake have never been in comparison to potency on the charts. Kendrick and even Cole, they've never been compared. Like this guy's like literally, like he's 2 or 3 times bigger than both of them. These days, we're seeing Superman bleed because we're seeing Drake as human, right? What does that mean? Without his label, without a planned release, he can't just get up like he used to do and just be like, yo, 3-pack out at midnight, run it up. And what I mean by that work, we're not talking about him being number 25, which by the way, would be fine for every other artist. That would be amazing for every other artist. But we're talking about Drake. Drake is a guy, when he drops, we expect him to be in the top 20, top 10. Drake at this moment, I don't think that's where he's at. And I think he's cognizant of that. Let me ask this question. I think if Drake doesn't do 300 with him and Party, he looks human. And I have to keep saying human because Drake had a run, I would say, since 2013 2013, he had a 11-year run where actually really 2012, because it started with the feature run where he's issuing the stimmies, right? When my boy was issuing the stimmies, it's over. So 12-year run of seeming like he wasn't human. There's no other artist, and I mean absolutely none, in hip hop that has been that potent. There is no Kendrick Lamar stimulus package. There is no J. Cole stimulus package. There is no even Nicki Minaj stimulus package. And when we're talking about stimulus package, I'm not saying that them being on someone's record doesn't help, but Drake has been known to bring you to the moon. Drake has been responsible for a lot of the world knowing a huge amount of artists just by how much he was doing the world star effect Drake stimmy. Like, we're talking about Young Blue, we're talking about Block Boy JB. We have a list of artists that I don't even think there's any other artist in rap that even has 2 or 3. And Drake has probably close to 20. So if you think about that, and this is what I always say, because here's the thing, when I have to criticize Drake, because I do have to criticize him. Like, that's my fucking job. What do you think I'm just, no, I'm gonna have to criticize him when I need to. But my criticisms of Drake is saying that Drake's competition numbers wise was never Kendrick. Like, he's outclassed that guy in every way, shape, or form. J. Cole too. Drake is competing with his former self. So that's why I use the terminology where we might be watching Superman bleed.
Now, it's going to be some people who actually believe I was crying, because some of y'all really think I'm just this Drake gobbler. I'm all over Drake like TD Jakes.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
But let's be honest. Everybody has a time when they're not as hot as they were yesterday. But the first question is, and I don't know if Ak ever addressed this point because he started going on a long rant about numbers and talking about, the behind the scenes with the industry and stuff like that. So I didn't catch every bit of it. But do y'all think this low for Drake has anything to do with Kendrick and the beef? And if you ask me, I think it's a small percentage that's there. But I also think over time, if Drake comes back and he releases some good music that people can gravitate to, some of those numbers will inch back up. But also we have to add in, and this is the same thing we're going to say about J. Cole in a few minutes. We're going to say the same thing about Kendrick in a few minutes. All of these guys are pushing 40. And I know J. Cole, Future, Drake, Kendrick, they seem so young and vibrant and, a part of the culture. But at a certain time, the younger audience is going to take over and they're going to say, those guys are not hot anymore. They too old. It's a transition that's coming. I just don't think it's going to officially be here until maybe the next 5 years. Like, we'll really be able to have that conversation in about 5 years, because those 4 artists I just named, even though they're pushing 40 or almost 40, I think Future might be 40. They're still just so attached to the culture. I don't feel like they're going to just disappear tomorrow. Now, also, when Ak is talking about the comparison in numbers when it comes to his peers, let's just be real. Like he said, Kendrick and J. Cole, when it comes to numbers, we can have this debate about talent all day. If you ask me, I feel like they all on the same level of talent. Even though Drake might have more range when it comes to putting out good quality music that might not be in the hip hop genre, I think just when it comes to rapping and hip hop, they're all on the same level. I know some of y'all will say, oh no, so-and-so is better than this one. But I'm just saying, number wise, they were never in the same competition as Drake. And fall off numbers for Drake would be great numbers for J. Cole, would be great numbers for Kendrick Lamar. So we got to keep that part in perspective. And that's why he kept using the term, we're seeing Superman bleed. Because Drake says the only person who really does better numbers than him, or the only person who can make him push back his release, is Taylor Swift. Not Justin Bieber, not Bad Bunny, not J. Cole, not Kendrick, not even Kanye West. Which is another person who y'all see. I didn't even add Kanye's name into that because I think we've just accepted that Kanye's numbers have just kind of started going down. But he's so weird with his releases too. Now, I love that Ak brought this point up, and I don't know if I left it in the clip because, you know, I get to clipping stuff out because I don't want to, you know, just put 20 minutes of commentary on a video. But I think you do have to respect Drake's numbers more than the people that like to sell bundles and all of these other things they attach to an album, keychains, sneakers. You know, we see Nicki right now on tour. She's selling everything imaginable. Okay, and I'm not gonna knock her hustle, but I just saw Nicki put out some sneakers and all this other stuff, and Travis Scott will sell you his dirty draws when the album comes out. Anything to get those extra sales. So I think it is kind of dope that Drake is one of those artists. And I kind of feel the same way with J. Cole and Kendrick too. I don't feel like none of those three artists go out of their way to give you fake or trickery numbers, right? I don't really remember Kendrick selling a whole bunch of stuff during the album release. I don't remember J. Cole selling a whole bunch of stuff. I don't remember any of the big three bundling a whole bunch of stuff to try to add those sales to the album sales. And I think that's something that we just don't have to respect Drake for. We can respect the entire big three for J. Cole, Kendrick as well. But, you know, right now, Drake is going through a low. We'll see what this Party Next Door and Drake album does. I saw Ak predicting 350 first week. I don't think it's going to do 350 because I don't know if the people really feeling Party Next Door no more. I love Party, but I had the same conversation when it comes to Bryson Tiller. Remember when Trap Soul came out and everybody loved Bryson Tiller? Bryson has put out 2 projects, and I don't feel like the people really care. And I think the music is good, but when you take a long time and you got that steam, especially for R&B artists, it's hard for people to really just come back and gravitate to your music. Everybody is not Frank Ocean. If Frank Ocean dropped today, he's going to do over 300 easily. He might do 500,000. But everybody don't have no Channel Orange. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody don't have 2 classic albums. And, you know, Frank Ocean is damn near looked at like Andre 3000 when it comes to rap and just being creative and out of the box and always doing something different, always doing something that will hold the audience's attention. You know what I mean? So I just don't know if Party Next Door got that steam, even with Drake, to get people to come out and buy the album so the numbers look like 350 plus. I don't know. I feel like their collab album will probably do as much as Honestly Nevermind. But y'all let me know. The Kendrick barbs, as I like to call y'all, do y'all think Drake fell off? Y'all got the Drake stans finally admitting there's been a little chink in the Drake armor. Let me know what y'all think. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.